I've seen a lot of people clamoring for $75,000, $74,000 BTC. And I've seen a lot of people have questions of, what that could do to ADA price. How low could we in fact go? And understand, first of all, it's not necessarily a price that has to happen. And it's not necessarily a price that will happen. But I think it's worth discussing because a lot of people are talking about something very specific right now around that price. And I think that this would be, in fact, a very important invalidation for the market. Now, I want to talk about that in this video with you guys. So if you are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So understand right now, BTC is still floating around 83.8. ADA is still floating between 39 to 40 cents. We're still sitting right on top of this big old blue line, which again is our support that dates all the way back to January of 2023. We'll see if this holds as the weekend progresses. I truly hope it does. I really don't want to see lower prices. I mean, I guess I kind of do, because it'd be nice to accumulate lower still, but that's neither here nor there. But what I see is a lot of people saying, BTC needs to touch 75K. BTC has to touch 75K, and it doesn't have to do anything, right? I will say right now, BTC daily stochastic RSI is flatlined. Weekly stochastic RSI is flatlined. ADA stochastic RSI flatlined. Everything right now is printing your traditional bottom signals, signaling that we are in fact going to have a bounce. I'm not saying that's going to be the case for sure, because we obviously know there's still been leverage liquidations taking place in the market. People have still been, freaking out and being fearful. I see, almost a new comment every day saying, yep, I decided to sell at a loss. And it kind of seems like right now, again, we're sitting in that max fear and that max pain, but yet despite that, we're still holding up on some pretty strong technical levels. Now, that being said, let's talk about 75K, because if this does happen, this could be actually a really nice sweep for the crypto market. Some people are saying, oh yeah, ADA would hit 13 cents to 22 cents. And I don't think that's the case at all. First of all, right now, a sweep down to 22 cents would actually be another 40% retracement for ADA off of a less than 10% move for, I guess that is about a 10% move for BTC. Alts, I don't know if you've noticed, but they've been staying pretty resilient versus BTC as of late. In fact, BTC dominance has been dropping while we've gone over this last week of retracements. So it's not really supporting the fact that altcoins are acting weak versus BTC. This isn't your traditional drop that we've seen on an intra-market cycle. It's not even what you would normally see heading into a bear market. It's conviction still remaining to hold up. I'm not saying nobody's selling, because there's obviously some sellers in the market, but what it's really doing is it's showing altcoins are acting a little bit more like a safe haven right now than a detriment, if that makes sense. Now, obviously, this isn't a guarantee. You could see days where alts outperform BTC. You can see days where BTC outperforms altcoins. But some technical levels I've talked about that I think we have to watch very closely are like your 34 cent ADA, 30 cent ADA. And those are ranges that I think we could get to if we do in fact see BTC pull back to 75K. Maybe we go lower. I think 26 cents would be the next stop if we do breach 30. Those are just some kind of zones to watch here. But why I'm talking about 75K in terms of BTC. First of all, 74.5 was the bottom that we experienced back here in April of 2025. Coincidentally enough, 74.5 is basically Strategy's average buy-in cost, or their average cost of all their BTC. And I keep seeing people clamoring for this. Oh yeah, if BTC slips under the average, the whole leverage tower cracks. MSTR is a Ponzi, and Bitcoin is going to crash even lower then. And I think that this could in fact be perfect, because if we do go down to, let's say even the sweep down to 71.2, and nothing happens, you actually just flipped everybody that was being bearish, that's been convinced that Strategy is going to get liquidated when they frankly can't get liquidated based on price. And then we just go on, again, this V-shaped recovery where BTC does what it did back here in November of 2024, where it just rockets to the upside and altcoins just go on these massive explosions. And if we do get down there, this is something that could take a week. Frankly, if we got there by if things got ugly and we got there by December 1st, that could be a really interesting scenario, because that's when a lot of the lows of structures were projected for altcoins as well, ADA included. But that could actually turn into something pretty interesting for the space, where you just got this big confidence injection because something that was a big, major, negative talked about event doesn't end up being a thing, if that makes sense. That could also coincide with, rate cuts on the 10th, with an official shift out of quantitative tightening. Fed they actually just expanded their balance sheet even further. I believe it was yesterday. So they're doing stealth QE right now. I mean, it could turn into kind of actually a big major moment for the crypto market. And one thing I wanted to continue mentioning for ADA, I know I talk about it often, but I wanted to bring it up again, is guess what? We've seen another week where there's these big, massive, huge removals of supply from exchanges. It just continues to take place time and time again. This week alone, despite all the red we've been seeing, $37.2 million removed from exchanges in terms of ADA. All right. So that's what, that's almost 100 million ADA, if my math is right. And maybe that's wrong. Someone do the math quick. But the point I'm trying to make is that the people who have been here for a while, the people that are looking to see the ecosystem continue on a positive note, that are really looking forward to the future, are the ones who are truly taking advantage of this opportunity. And right now we've gotten to this point where there's so much capital sidelined and there's so much negativity on the space. When you get down to those deep depths, you usually have a massive explosion in the opposite direction. That's exactly what leads us to a V-shaped recovery, is the unexpected comes out of nowhere and to the positive side, and catches everybody off guard. I feel like a lot of people right now are going to be caught off guard. They're calling for bear market cycles. They're calling for no ETFs this year. And I saw some people ask questions about that. Remember, the government just opened up, like a week and a week ago or so. It's taking time for them to ramp back up, right? And they're not expecting rate cuts. They're not expecting all these positive things that could basically come out of left field and smack us all in the face, right? So that's my thoughts on this. I'm not saying we have to go down there. I don't think we do. We could obviously see a short-term recovery bounce here too. We still have a lot of time here before the end of the year. And if we're not really making massive surges down, like BTC breaching, 55K, 60K or anything like that anytime soon, it likely invalidates again the 4-year cycle. And then it's a question again of, do those people start to get back in too? So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.